Got a lot to talk about today. We're talking draft, we're talking top 5 cornerback duos, and the all-decade team. What is up, Fin fans? How's everyone doing today on this Tuesday? I'm recording this on a Monday, but it is Tuesday while you're watching this. Like I said in that intro that I normally do, I got a lot to talk about. NFL is doing their thing, sent out a memo about the draft. Bucky Brooks put out his top 5 cornerback duos. We're going to talk about that, break that down. Also, the all-decade team came out. We're going to talk about that. But before we jump into all that, let me give you the trivia for today. And like usual, I'll give you the answer before comment of the day. And trivia is, what is wide receiver return man Jakeem Grant's nickname? So what is Jakeem Grant's nickname? It's very simple trivia. Real quick, got some news, some FaceTime news. Again, during this time, there is no meetings, no college prospects can go and meet with teams. So it's a lot of phone calls, FaceTimes, all that stuff. And Georgia offensive tackle Andrew Thomas had a FaceTime meeting with a bunch of clubs, but the one that stuck out to me was he had a FaceTime meeting with the Miami Dolphins. I'm very happy about that, very excited about that. I like Andrew Thomas as a prospect, whether at 5, whether at 18, and if he is there at 26, I'd like the Miami Dolphins to take him, Andrew Thomas. But again, I haven't done my prospect video for the offensive lineman yet. That will be coming out probably this weekend. But very, very happy about that. Now let's jump into the NFL sending out this memo. So you guys know that the draft isn't going to be at Vegas anymore because of undisclosed reasons I can't talk about. So the NFL sent out a memo telling all the teams, look, we are going to keep your facilities closed. Do not go to your facilities for the draft, which essentially is in 16 days. Well, the draft is in 16 days. I'm super excited. Again, I'm live streaming the draft. But they said, your facilities are closed, you can't go there. So they sent out a memo essentially saying, moreover, we want the NFL personnel to comply with government directives and to model safe and appropriate health practices, essentially meaning stay home. So then they also say, accordingly, all clubs should dedicate their personnel and technology resources towards preparing for a fully virtual draft with personnel in separate locations. Our staff in events, football operations, information technology, and the management council will be in contact with each club and remain fully available to answer questions or assist in your preparation. H for your hemorrhoids. So essentially, the NFL wants all of these teams, all 32 teams, to everyone stay home. So the head coach, stay home. The GMs, stay home. Owner, stay home. Scouting, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, everyone stay home. But then draft. We want you to draft. We want you to... This is going to be a mess. Do you guys remember the Minnesota Vikings? They couldn't get their pick in. And then the next team came, they picked. The next team came, they picked. That's essentially, if you guys ever wanted to know, say the clock runs out on a team, right? Do they lose their draft pick? Is it, do they not get a team? No. The next team is on the clock, and they pick their players. And then the next team's on the clock, and the next team, until that team eventually puts their pick in. That's how it works. So I don't remember what year it was, but the Minnesota Vikings took too long to make their pick, and 2 other teams made their pick, and then the Minnesota Vikings put their pick in. I'm pretty sure it was Minnesota, but that's how it works. So say the Miami Dolphins at 5 all of a sudden are like, oh, do we want Tua? Do we like his injury, or would we prefer to go for an offensive tackle here? I don't know. And their time's up. Chargers are on the clock. Boom, Chargers can take Tua. Then all of a sudden the next team's on until the Dolphins put their pick in. I have a feeling something like that's going to happen, especially when you have them doing this all remotely. There's going to be some problems. Someone's going to have poor internet connection. Someone's not going to get the call in. Are they going to make the clocks longer? The first round 1 was, I think you get about 10 minutes, and then the clock goes progressively smaller as the rounds go on. Like round 5, 6, and 7, you get like 3 minutes to make your pick, even though it takes forever for the picks to get like tickered across the bottom. I wonder if now the picks are is the clock gonna be a little bit longer to deal with this problem? This is something we're gonna have to keep an eye on, and this is something that's gonna make the 23rd, which again I'll be live streaming, very, very interesting. But that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. The other two major things, these come from the NFL.com website. And the one that I actually want to talk about that, normally us being Dolphin fans, we get crapped on a lot, right? Especially the past, I think 2003 was the last time we were consecutively good. Then after that, we had 2008, we had 2016, we had some 8-8 years, But we've always been like, everyone's just like, they have some good players, but they're not anything great, right? Bucky Brooks came out with an article. When did he come out with this? April 3rd, last Friday. He came out with an article essentially saying NFL's top 5 cornerback duos. And I was thinking to myself, let me read this article. Now that we got Byron Jones, let me read this article. But I didn't expect much because the media likes to poo-poo on the Dolphins, right? Number 1 is Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Peters with the Baltimore Ravens. All right. Number 2 is Stephon Gilmore and Jason McCourty with the New England Patriots. Those are very, those 1 and 2 are very good elite cornerback duos. Number 3 is Byron Jones and Xavier Howard of the Miami Dolphins. He has the Dolphins cornerback duo ranked 3rd. And I'm not upset about that at all. We haven't even seen them play together. Xavier Howard has a hard time staying healthy. When he is healthy, he's one of the best corners in the league when his feet are on that field. But he has a hard time staying healthy. And we don't know how Byron Jones and him are going to mesh together. But he has them both and 3. So let's see what he had to say. He says, as I mentioned earlier in this piece, Brian Flores believes in playing man coverage, and the Dolphins have invested heavily at corner and 2 of the top 3 highest paid players at that position, average salary based. Jones and Howard are bump and run specialists with a combination of size, length, and athleticism to challenge receivers all over the field. Consider how each defender forces quarterbacks to make tight window throws on the perimeter. The Dolphins blanket corner should cause problems for plenty of opponents in 2020. I don't disagree with anything the man said in that paragraph, and I'm happy that somebody actually realizes and recognizes the things that Xavier Howard can do. Again, I've said the man needs to stay on the field, but when he's on the field, he's a dangerous, one of the top best corners in the league. A lot of people say, he gets burned all the time. He gets burned all the time. But do you see his speed and his athleticism and the reach the man has to make up for that? I honestly don't think the man gets burnt on purpose. I think he lets him go, and then he baits the quarterback. And then look at that Patriots game. You thought Philip Dorsett was gone. If that's the receiver I'm thinking of. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And he catches up to him, and he picked him off twice. So, and then like Byron Jones, a lot of people want to talk about, he only has 2 interceptions. You got to watch the game, watch all the deflected passes, watch him get into people's faces, watch no one want to throw his side, man. Well, you don't want to throw Byron Jones' side, well, you have to throw Xavier Howard's side. You don't want to throw Xavier Howard's side, you got to throw Byron Jones' side. The only thing is, I really, really, really hope that Xavier Howard can stay healthy fully, so we could see that type of conundrum for these quarterbacks being like, well, what side I'm going to throw to? I'm going to try to throw to the slot receiver. Hopefully our slot receiver guy's going to shut that down. And just real quick, the other 2 guys, Casey Hayward and Chris Harris Jr. for the Los Angeles Chargers, and Joe Hayden and Steven Nelson for Pittsburgh came in at 5. But I'm very happy with the Dolphins being at 3. Makes me happy. And now this is the meat, and this is what I really want to talk about, because I got some stats and stuff that I want to talk about. I hope you hear me smacking on my notepad, which I always make notes and stats and everything. I take this stuff very seriously. So they came out with the All-Decade team. This is 2010's All-Decade team. So essentially from 2010 to today. Decade, because now we're in 2020. So All-Decade team. You got quarterbacks. A lot of these guys, you'd expect. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, running backs. You got Frank Gore, Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Adrian Peterson. Yes, of course. They were great during the 10s, I guess, if that's what you call it. Wide receivers, Antonio Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. No complaint there. You got your flex, Darren Sproles. He was a little speedy, scrappy guy. I agree 100%. Tight ends, Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. You might want to throw some other guys in there, but my problem isn't with the offense, because the Dolphins' offense for the past decade was, it was all right. You got your offensive linemen, Jason Peters, Tyron Smith, Joe Staley, Joe Thomas, guards, Jahir Evans, Logan Mankins, Zach Martin, Marshall Yonda, and centers Alex Mack and Marquise Pouncey. My problem is on the defense. Now, hey, this is Miami Dolphins YouTube channel, right? I love talking all things football, and I like to consider myself a very unbiased Miami Dolphins fan. I'll give people props where props are due, right? But I'm going to get a little bit petty here. You might think to yourself, all right, Doug, cool your jets. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm not going to make it a big of a deal. But you might say, well, that's just because you're a biased Dolphin fan. Maybe. But I don't say things without bringing some stats in the picture, right? So let's talk about the defensive top, all-decade team. Calais Campbell, these are defensive ends. Calais Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt. Calais Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt. No, your computer didn't glitch. I did say those 4 names. Again, who's missing? Why would anyone be missing? Why would we think someone's missing? Well, if they didn't think somebody was missing, they wouldn't make a snub list and have who I'm about to say ranked number 5 on that snub list. That's Cameron Wake. Where's Cameron Wake on that list? Cameron Wake, Miami Dolphins from 2010, I couldn't speak, and to 2018, he was with the Titans last year. 1 All-Pro, 5 Pro Bowls. I do not count Pro Bowls. If you come at me and say, hey, this guy's better, he has 14 Pro Bowls, cool. He can be the, homecoming king at high school because Pro Bowls are all about popularity. I don't take Pro Bowls. All Pros, yes. All Pro, I take seriously because that's, a lot of people, a lot of writers, a lot of the head coaches and teams themselves voting for All Pros. Pro Bowl, no. But this is what he had to say. We got late start in his NFL career, spending 2 seasons in the Canadian Football League before signing with the Dolphins at 27. What does that have to do with anything? The pass rusher spent the majority of his U.S.-based football days in Miami. Yes, I hope he retires as a Dolphin. I love him. Where he recorded double-digit sacks 5 times from 2010 to 2017. So for a good majority of the decade that you snubbed him out of, even though you now put him in the snub list, which why not put him in the list? 21 tackles for loss and 14 QB takedowns since 2010, second highest to 15 he posted 2012 at the age of 30, aptly captured his game-changing ability. He led the Dolphins in sacks in 6 of his 9 seasons with the team during the 2010s and ranked second in team history with 98 behind Jason Taylor, one of the greats, 131. Wake's continued excellence well into his 30s really magnifies his worth for his team. So, what's my problem? Well, you snubbed him. And then you knew you snubbed him by making a little bit saying, hey, we snubbed him. He's ranked 5 at the snubs. Just so you know, Drew Brees was in that snub list. A.J. Green. Right below him was DeMarcus Ware. But here's my problem with the snub list, right? I got my stats here. Cameron Wake, and these are all my stats from 2010 to today. So the past decade, right? Cameron Wake, he played 141 games. He had 95 sacks, 1 interception. Doug, why are you putting interceptions in there? Because why not? Does it hurt? Does it help? Not really. It's just a fun fact to put in there. 95 sacks, 1 interception, 93 tackles for a loss, and 282 tackles, right? So, like Julius Peppers, he deserves to be there. The man was ridiculous. He played 144 games, 79 sacks. Well, wait, that's less than Cameron Wake in that decade. Still doesn't matter because he had 4 interceptions, 84 tackles for a loss. Cameron Wake had more, 243 tackles. Cameron Wake had more, but Julius Peppers is a name that's out there. But he's one of the greats. He deserved to be in the all-decade. He is a great player, right? Calais Campbell. I think Cameron Wake should have been in there over Calais Campbell. Now, again, from 2010 to 2020, Calais Campbell only had 81 sacks compared to Cameron Wake's 95. 141 tackles for loss and 495 tackles is way better than the 93 and 282 of Cameron Wake, but he also played about 13 more games than Cameron Wake. Cameron Jordan is another guy who I think Cameron Wake should have been in over. 87 sacks to Cameron Wake's 95, 113 tackles for a loss. Again, he had more, and he had more tackles, 312, but he also, again, played 3 more games. Then you got J.J. Watt. Now, here's my thing about J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt made the list, and I'm not upset about that because J.J. Watt was a beast and is a beast when he gets on the field. But he also missed a big chunk of 2016, 2017, and last year. 3 years out of the decade. When that article, they talked about the snub, said that Cameron Wake was killing it for 7 of the 10 years, right? J.J. Watt, 96 sacks, 158 tackles for a loss, 373 tackles. And that's why I'm saying he deserves to be on there. The two guys that I think didn't deserve to go in over Wake, mostly to me, is Calais Campbell, but Calais Campbell and Cameron Jordan. I think Wake should have got in over them. But again, I feel like this is another popularity contest. I think that the Cameron Wake never really did anything in the playoffs, never really made the playoffs. And just, they were like, oh, let's take Calais Campbell and Cameron Jordan. But if you look at the stats, 81 sacks, 87 sacks to Cameron Wake's 95. I don't know. And you think, Doug, you done? Is that the only thing that rubs you the wrong way about this list? Not really. Now, safety, right? You look at everything else, and I'll break them all down, right? You think like, hey, Doug, there's no Dolphins on there. Technically, Ndamukong Suh's on there, and he was on the Dolphins for, 4 years in that decade. So technically, Ndamukong Suh can be considered a Dolphin on this list. You got Geno Atkins, Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald. Linebackers are Chandler Jones, cannot talk. Khalil Mack, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis. Corners, Patrick Peterson, Darrell Revis, Richard Sherman. Safeties. Eric Berry, Earl Thomas, and Eric Weddle. Now, you look at Eric Weddle and you look at Earl Thomas, right? In that decade, they played 140 games. Earl Thomas and Eric Weddle played 157 games with 30 interceptions. Here's Earl Thomas's stats: 30 interceptions, 12 forced fumbles. I'm talking about forced fumbles. I'm even going to throw some sacks in there, even though it's a different type of safety. They recorded them, so I'm going to talk about it. 2 sacks, 497 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, whereas Eric Weddle, 25 interceptions, 8 forced fumbles, 6 sacks, 687 tackles for loss, 25 tackles for loss, 687 tackles. They deserve to be on this list. My biggest gripe is, mind you, all of these guys on the list were drafted the same year as a guy who I think got snubbed. And this is where I expect a lot of guys being like, come on, Doug. Rashad Jones. I honestly think Rashad Jones should have been on this list. Eric Berry played 89 games. 89 games in the decade. 89 games. Now, is Eric Berry undeserving of the list? No. But I think Rashad Jones should have been over him. And I've had this debate, especially when it came to I've had this debate with some other people that I think Rashad Jones is better than Eric Berry. Rashad Jones had 21 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 10.5 sacks, 599 tackles, and 41 tackles for a loss. And he played 128 games. So he played about 30 to 40 games more than Eric Berry, who had 14 interceptions, 4 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 377 tackles, and 29 tackles for loss. I honestly think that the fact that Eric Berry missed so many games in the decade, that Rashad Jones should have got over him. Now, it's another scenario where it's the name and it's what he did before, the injuries and stuff. But I honestly think that Rashad Jones should have got in over Eric Berry. So I'm not, in my opinion, with this all-decade list. And then you got special teamers, which, no one really cares about special teamers. But me personally, this list, I think Cameron Wake and Rashad Jones are the only 2 Dolphins that I was like, wow, you got to keep them off the list. You're going to snub them. All right, fine. Cool. Fantastic. Be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, you might be thinking I'm just a homer and I'm rooting for my guys. Hey, it's 2 guys, and I gave you some stats to back them up. But, hey, you might be thinking to yourself, it's 2 different types of safeties. It's this, it's that. Be sure to comment below. You call me out on my stuff. I almost cursed. And, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I honestly think, especially with Cameron Wake, being that they even made a snub thing, I think Cameron Wake should have been on there. I have a soft spot for Rashad Jones, and the fact that Eric Berry was injured so much, I don't think he should have been in there over Rashad Jones. But like I said, be sure to comment below, and we'll get to your guys' comment of the day. But before we do that, hey, what's Jakeem Grant's nickname? Do you guys know what Jakeem Grant's nickname is? It's Mighty Mouse. That's his nickname. Now, my comment of the day is from my mock draft. I made a mock draft. I think it was Friday. I'm going to make another 2 mock drafts, maybe even 3 mock drafts before the draft happens. And in the beginning of the mock draft, I said to you guys, I'm doing different scenarios. I'm going to do a mock draft where I don't take a quarterback number 1, but I'll still take a quarterback. I'll do a mock draft where I take a quarterback number 1. And I'm even going to do a mock draft where I don't take a quarterback at all. And I don't know if I said it too quick people just breeze by it to see what I picked because a lot of people were upset. And that's why me talking about it. It's comment of the day. 28 dislikes, which it doesn't bother me when people dislike my stuff because it lets me know, like, maybe spruce it up, do this, do that. But it made me laugh because I think a lot of people that disliked the video, the 28, is because I didn't take Tua at number 5, even though I specifically said in the video that I'm doing different scenarios. And why, Doug? Why are you doing different scenarios? What does that accomplish? We have no idea what the Miami Dolphins are doing in this draft. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to cover every base that the Miami Dolphins can do. Right? Say the Dolphins are uncomfortable with Tua's hip injury and they decide they want to take a tackle at 5 and potentially take Love at 18. That's what I did. I'm also going to do a draft, which probably is going to come out this week, where maybe they're comfortable with Tua at 5. Maybe I'll take Tua at 5. Maybe something else happens and Tua might fall or something. I'm still, I'll take a quarterback first. And I'm also going to do a draft scenario because we don't know how much they like Josh Rosen. We don't know if, hey, they're going to stick with Rosen. They're going to have Rosen do his thing, and they're not going to take a quarterback in the first round. Maybe they'll take Jalen Hurts in the second round. Maybe they'll take Eason. Maybe they'll take Fromm. I'm doing all these scenarios to see how the draft falls if in these scenarios and to prepare us because we don't know what the Dolphins are doing. So again, for this comment of the day, it's kind of addressing all the people that were like angry, I guess, because I didn't take Tua. One guy was like, I stopped watching after you didn't take Tua. Did you watch it before when I said that I'm doing this on purpose? I have a plan. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see how these drafts fall when I do things differently. I also, if you guys want different settings or me to use a different draft, comment it below, and I'm doing a bunch of different things. But I just want to address that in comment of the day. Hope it clears it up for some of the people who were like, why are you doing it this way? I said it in the video. Sometimes I feel like you guys don't watch the video. Some of you guys make me laugh, though. You're like, you pause the video to comment, and then you continue watching, and then you like comment, sorry, I commented too soon, which I appreciate. I'll always comment below. Also follow me on Twitter because I love interacting with you guys. I love talking to you guys. You guys open my mind to different things. You guys also open my mind to different players. Hey, Doug, check out these players. Hey, Doug, check out these players. You really open my mind. So I always like talking to you guys. So Twitter is one of the best places you could talk to me. Instagram too. I chat with a lot of you guys there. Also comment it below. Also check out the Bit Boys. I put out the first Resident Evil 3 gameplay yesterday. So be sure to go over, check that out. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. We got a ton planned over there. We're doing things differently because, again, of what's going on in the world. Other than that, give this video a thumbs up because you like this type of content. Like I said, I got the tight end video coming out probably Thursday. Then I'm going to do another mock draft probably over the weekend. Then I have to break down the offensive line. I'm going to do it as a whole, which is going to be difficult to grade the tackles and the guards and stuff. That might be a longer video. I got a lot planned, so be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Check out DolphinsTalk.com. Great Dolphin content over there, so be sure to go over, check it out, and hit that subscribe button. If you want to see all the videos I got planned, if you want to be here for when I live stream the draft, if you want to just join the nation of Dolphin DouglieDoWrong Nation, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit the bell. I don't remember which side I put it on, but it's on either side of my head to show you where to hit the bell, hit all, so you can see when I post a video and when I go live. I will be live the Saturday before the draft, the 18th, and then I will be live for the draft on the 23rd and the 24th. But other than that, I will see you guys Thursday with the breakdown of the tight end prospects. It's not going to be a lot of them. Tight ends aren't that deep, but I will be making a video for you guys on Thursday. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Fins up.